Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Endless TBR. My name is Christian, and this is my YouTube channel where I love to talk about books. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to click on this video, where I'm going to talk about all of the books that I want to read in March of 2026. Now, I'm kind of doing my videos a little bit out of order this month. Normally, I do my recap and ranking of the previous month before I do my TBR for the current month. I ran into a little bit of trouble with my February ranking. There's a couple books that I finished right at the end of the month, and I'm still kind of like thinking about how I want to talk about them in my head. So I kind of put a bookmark on that, and I'm coming over to record this video just so I can get it out there. And then within the next day or so, I'm going to revisit my February ranking and then have that out in the next couple days. So, like I said, I just didn't want to push this video back too far because it's already the 5th of the month. It's going by really quick. So, but I have a lot of books that I want to talk about in this video. It's going to be a really, really great month for me. There are a few books that are carrying over from my February TBR video, which are going to be my priorities for the beginning of the month. And then I have a lot of books that I have not yet talked about on this channel that I'm going to be reading for March. So let's talk about the books that I'm currently reading at the moment. The first one is called The Italian by Anne Radcliffe. This is a book that I was originally going to read in February. I had an assignment due for it in the class that I'm taking, but then my teacher pushed back the assignment date by a month. So I kind of stopped reading it, and now I've picked it up again. I didn't want to read it too far in advance of when the assignment was due. So now that that is getting a little bit closer, I've picked it up again. I'm about a third of the way through it, and it's pretty much going to be what I'm reading for the next 2 days because I really have to lock in and finish it. But it's been a really solid book so far. I'm enjoying it a lot more than the other book that I've had to read for this class, which was The Castle of Otranto by Horace Walpole. That one was frankly a little bit boring. The Italian is luckily much more exciting and interesting to read. I really like Anne Radcliffe's writing style. The story is about this man named Vivaldi, who is an upperclassman. He falls in love with this woman named Elena, who is a lower class person, and he is just absolutely in love with her, wants to marry her, but his parents are refusing to allow that to happen because they don't want him to marry down, basically. So there's a lot of scheming going on from his parents' side. They decide to poison Elena's aunt and kidnap her and send her off to this other place, and Vivaldi's trying to track her down. So a lot of drama, a lot of good stuff. And like I said, I'm about a third of the way through it, and it's been really interesting so far. So hopefully within the next couple days, I will finish that book. The audiobook that I'm currently listening to is Heated Rivalry by Rachel Reed. This is the book that was chosen for the book club that I'm in. One of my friends chose it. And it's been an interesting ride so far. So when it comes to romance, this is a romance novel. I am not very well versed in romance. I'm very much a novice. I would say the only experience I have with romance novels is the ACOTAR series that I read last year because my fiance really wanted me to read them. She's big into romance, and so I've been trying to read a little bit more of it to bond with her in that area. So when my friend chose Heated Rivalry, I was not prepared for how intense like the sexual encounters in it were going to be. It's basically this hockey romance where you have these two hockey players, Shane Hollander and Ilya Rozanov, and they are really attracted to each other, but they're also main rivals in the NHL. So they are, on the screen, they hate each other and they're always playing against each other, but then they have this secret romance going along the side. And right off the bat, this book is like very, very graphic when it comes to the sexual encounters. If you love that stuff, then this book is probably going to be a heyday for you. If you're not into that, then you're probably not going to like it. Me, I'm kind of in the middle ground. I'm still getting used to like that sort of genre. So I will say I do like the characters a lot, and the overall story is very touching because they both characters, they love each other a lot, and but they're struggling because they don't know how well the hockey world will receive them being in an openly gay marriage, especially since they are main rivals in the NHL. They're not sure what the public perception is going to be like. So they have this passion for each other, but they have to keep it secret. And I'm actually almost done with this book. I'm about 77% of the way through it, and things are really ramping up. The drama is really starting to come out, and I am very entertained by the story and liking it. I think it's all just going to come down to how well you like those more, graphic romance sections. So, like I said, I'm still getting used to it, but definitely not disliking the book by any means. And I'm liking the characters a lot. So that is Heated Rivalry. I'm sure I'll finish that within the next day or so. Now let's talk about some books that I will be prioritizing at the start of the month. These are two that I wanted to read in February but didn't quite get into. So first one is The Firestarter by Stephen King. I have a goal for this year to read 12 Stephen King books, so one a month. I did not get to reading this one in February, so I'm probably going to have to double down on Stephen King books later in the year. But this one's a pretty sizable book, so I'm probably going to stick to just this one in March. And yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm reading him in chronological order, so this is the next one up. And I just didn't get around to it in February. So Firestarter is one I'll be prioritizing at the beginning of this month. And then the other one is going to be Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. I've been wanting to read this book for so long. I really, really wanted to get to it in February, but I was getting towards the end of the month. This book is not super huge, but it's like a decent, like over 400-page book. I was kind of panicking towards the end of the month, so I ended up going with the Da Vinci Code instead because it was a little quicker of a read and I could finish it in the month of February. But now that we're in March, it's time. I'm going to read this book, and it's going to be great. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this book from people on this channel and from the subreddits that I like to visit to explore the horror genre. So that is Into the Drowning Deep. Those are the two books I will be reading immediately after I finish The Italian. So some other books that I want to read this month are this book called Nightwalker by Sebastian Fitzek. This was a cheap pickup that I got at my local Books a Million in like the discount section. I just thought that the description of the book sounded really interesting. Basically, it's about this guy named Leon who has like this issue with sleepwalking, and he has a tendency to get violent when he sleepwalks. And he thought he cured it, but then I believe it says his wife goes missing. Yeah, his wife goes missing, and he's wondering if maybe his violent sleepwalking fits might be responsible for it. So this is a pretty short book, pretty big print, and I think I'll be able to get through it really quickly. But I just thought the title and the description of it was pretty cool. So that is The Nightwalker there by Sebastian Fitzek. Next up, we have a book that I'm really excited for. That is Watchers by Dean Koontz. I really wanted to get into some Dean Koontz this year in 2026. I picked up my first book by him in January. I did a blind pickup, and I picked up the Bad Weather Friend, which I found out was a mistake when talking to other people. That was apparently not a good first book to read by him. So a lot of people recommended Watchers as one of his best. And so I finally went and picked it up, and I'm very excited to start it this month. I hope I like this one a lot because Dean Koontz is just always one of those authors that I've wanted to get into, but I just never did. So this will be a first for me. And it's got a dog on the cover. I like dogs. I hope the dog stays safe though. That's the only thing. If the dog is in danger, I might not like it. We'll see. But that is Watchers by Dean Koontz. Next up, we have Dune: House Atreides by Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson. This is the next book chronologically that I need to read in the Dune series, and I'm very excited for this one. I've heard a lot of people on YouTube and friends of mine who like the Dune books a lot say that the House trilogy is the best of Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson's. And I've already read and liked a lot of their stuff. I think it's very consistent. So if this is the best of the best, then I have high hopes for it because I have enjoyed the rest of Brian Herbert's stuff. I'm also very excited to get into a series of Dune that's a little closer to the main trilogy by Frank Herbert. The Schools of Dune and Legends of Dune trilogy took place like 10,000 years before the OG Dune. I'm not exactly sure when the House trilogy takes place, but I know it is a lot closer to, Paul and Leto's era. So I'm excited to finally read some more Dune content that's a little closer to the original Dune that I fell in love with. So that is the House Atreides book right there. Next up, we have this book by Joe Hill. It is called Strange Weather. One of my other 2026 goals is to read all of Joe Hill's books. I haven't really been going with any rhyme or reason when it comes to that. I'm just picking random ones off the shelf. And so I decided to go with this one next. It is Strange Weather. It is a collection of 4 short novellas. And I'm really excited to get into this because I liked Joe Hill's 20th Century Ghost short story collection quite a bit, and I'm excited to get back into some more Joe Hill shorter style fiction. So that is Strange Weather that I will be reading this month. And then the last physical book of the month, and this is my nostalgia pick of the month where I can go get that sweet dopamine hit and read something from my childhood that I remember loving. And that is Midnight for Charlie Bone by Jenny Nemo. This was a series that I picked up. I picked up the whole box set a couple months ago. It's been sitting on my shelf screaming at me to read. And I finally decided that this month is the month that I'm going to pick it up. These are middle grade books, so they're very short and very easy to read. So I'm only going to commit to one for this month, but I might read some more in the series if I finish it and really enjoy it and have some time to. So I just don't want to overcommit for the month. I have a tendency to do that a lot. So I'm just going to commit to Midnight for Charlie Bone. But I remember reading at least the first two or three when I was in like middle school, early high school, maybe, and really enjoying them. The story is basically about this boy named Charlie, and in the world, a lot of people have these superpowers. Charlie has a superpower where he can like talk to people in photographs, and he gets picked up by this prestigious school that teaches kids with superpowers, and so he goes there. And it kind of reminded me like of Harry Potter meets like Sky High, if that makes any sense. So I remember liking it a lot, but I'm a little vague on like the actual plot details because it's been so long. So I'm excited to read this again. And like I said, I might pick up some others in the series if I have the time this month. So that is Midnight for Charlie Bone. And then I've actually planned out my audiobooks for this month. Usually I just go like I just randomly pick stuff up for audiobooks, but recently I downloaded the Libby app and I've been using that for my audiobooks instead. Um, and the thing with the Libby app is you actually have to put holds on books because it's through the public library system. So it's not like Kindle Unlimited where you can just search a book and it's available immediately. Some of the more popular books you have to like put holds on and you can wait like 3, 4, 5 weeks for it. So I've actually had to plan my audiobooks. So once I finish Heated Rivalry, I'm going to listen to a book called The Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy. I read the book Mary by Nat Cassidy about in the summer of last year, and I really liked it. And he's been one of those authors that I keep saying I want to revisit and read more by him. And I figured this was a good month to finally do it. So that is When the Wolf Comes Home. I know nothing about it. I just want to jump into it blind. And I really liked Nat Cassidy's writing style. So I have high hopes for that one. And then a book that I have on hold right now, but it says I am first in line to get is The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. This is a book that I'm really excited for. Stephen Graham Jones is an author that has popped up on my radar a lot that people have said is really good. Like his other book, the Buffalo Hunter, I've seen a lot of from people online. And so he's just been one of those names that I've always been interested in, but never gotten around to it. And, you know, I put the Nat Cassidy book on there and I was like, let me find someone else who I really want to read that I haven't gotten to yet. And that is Stephen Graham Jones. So I've heard mixed things about this book when it comes to the writing style. I've heard that people either really love it or really hate it. So I'm excited to see where it goes. But he's just one of those names that I've been super interested in. And I just found out they're making a sequel to this book. Like they announced it just a couple days ago. So that's pretty cool too. So if I like it, I have to look forward. I can look forward to the sequel coming out soon. So that is The Only Good Indians. And yeah, those are all of the audiobooks that I want to listen to this month. That is all for this video. I'm butchering the end of it here. Let me know if you have any of these books that you've read that you enjoyed, or if you have any books that you're reading for the month of March that you're really looking forward to. And thank you so much for watching this video. And like I said, stay tuned for my February ranking. It'll be coming out soon here in just the next couple days. So peace out. Have a great day.